Welcome to the Financial Wellness Academy, educating and empowering you to master your money, regardless of your current circumstances. My name is Caitriona, the founder of the Financial Wellness Academy. And in today's vlog, I'm going to share with you a secret little tool that I've been using for about 9 years now. And it has been transformational in my financial wellness journey. It's a tool that we can all access, it's free to use, and I would like to share with you today what that is, how it works for me, and the pieces that you need to pay attention with it. So I think when we often look at financial wellness, we can really feel, because of the situations that we're in, that it's too late. We have left it too late. We don't earn enough. Our expenses are too high. We are too old. We don't know how to invest. We don't know how to do money properly. And it's all a bit futile. And there are a list of reasons / excuses that we can use to not bother and to just dial out of this. And my mission is to support you to see that regardless of where you are right now, it's never too late. You're never too old. There's never an excuse or a reason that is big enough to stop you doing this. And I can say that with authority because I've had lots of those reasons, excuses, and some really big challenges and roadblocks that could have absolutely derailed me. But my drive, my motivation to get this right for myself, for my kids, overrode the strength of some of those that impacted me. So the tool I want to share with you today that really inspired me on my journey is called the Money Chimp Calculator. I'll put a link to it down below in the description, but if you Google it, it should come up, and it allows you to take a peek behind the curtain of compound interest and how it works. And for most people, the mention of those words probably brings you back to school, where we were taught formulas, how to calculate simple and compound, and simple was always quite straightforward, and compound was more complex. So this does the calculations for you, and it allows you to play in a fun way with what if scenarios. So there are 3 key elements to this calculator, and you'll notice when you go on it that it is in dollars. And some of you may get confused and think, this isn't my currency, so it's not going to work for me. The dollar sign is irrelevant. So if you're putting in whatever denomination you're putting in, it doesn't matter. So if you're putting it in pounds, the calculation it's going to use is going to show you pounds. So ignore the dollar piece, assume it's your currency, and just put in the numbers that work in your currency. You don't need to convert it or do anything like that. Just keep it simple. Just imagine it's the currency sign of your country and go with that. Okay. So some people are put off by that, but don't worry about that. You don't have to convert. Just put in the numbers that work for you, play around with it. So you'll see in this calculator, there are 3 variables: time, money, and return. So they're the 3 pieces that you have the possibility to play with. So with time, this is the one that we can't impact hugely. We have, however, long we have here. And the only piece to really consider in this space is to get started ASAP, because the longer that you leave this, the less valuable it's going to be to you. Now, I see my 15-year-old son playing with this, and I wish, wow, I wish I had have known about this when I was that age, because the impact of making a difference in a much smaller way at that age is so much more transformational than picking it in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever age. So, but we are where we are. So the best time to get started with this is today. Can't do with what's gone before, so let's just roll with it and see what we can do. So that's the piece, I think, enough to say on the time. On the next piece is around what you can afford to put away. Now, you can use this calculator for all sorts of different reasons. I use it when I want to play with, well, if I'm looking at, say, just a basic savings account, I'm thinking, okay, well, which one is better? The interest rate is obviously very straightforward, but I want to understand if I put away, let's say, £25 a month over 10 years, if I put it into this one, at, let's say, 4%, or I put it into this one at 4.5%. I want to see what the difference is going to be, because sometimes we can often think, oh, it's only 0.5%. It's not really going to make a difference. But when you put it into this calculator, it shows you actually 0.5% can make quite a significant difference, and enough motivation when you see the difference in the calculation figures to go, actually, you know what, maybe it's definitely in my interest to make an appointment to go see that and make that account and get that opened up, rather than doing it online and getting the lower rate. So it gives you the rationale, the reasons, whatever you want to call it, to actually push and to go for that extra 0.5% or whatever it is. I also use it to play around with my investments, to see, well, if I can get 12% on my investments, then this is what it will give me over this period of time. Or if I can get an extra 2%, 14%, what's that going to make? So I find it really helpful to play around with this. So you've got your three variables. Remember, you've got time, you've got the amount you can put in, and the return that you could potentially get. And when you press the calculate button after you put in those figures, you can see it spits out the figure at the bottom as to what the total amount will be based on what you've put in. So let's say you're thinking of putting away £50 a month. You put your £50 in for, let's say, 10, 15 years, and you put a rate of 10%, and it gives you a figure. And then you run it again, and you just change one thing. So let's say you decide to put in a higher amount per month, per year, same rate for the same term, and see what that gives you. And it allows you to play and see, well, actually, if I could be more careful in what I'm spending and put that extra away, that makes a significant difference over the time. And it really helped for me get clarity on the importance of finding the better rate where I could possibly, and trying to put away as much as I possibly could in my savings or in my investments, because I could actually see the impact on the end result. And that I found personally to be really, really powerful. And it gave me a really good understanding. I don't need to know the intricacies of how it's calculated. I just want to know the end result. And I spend a lot of time, and I still use it to this day, to understand, okay, will I choose path A or path B? And it creates a very visible motivation for me as to why I should pursue the one that's going to give me the better return. So I will try and find that extra return. I will make sure I can put away as much as I possibly can afford, because I can see what it's going to impact down the line. So for those of you listening and thinking, well, I'm not sure it's really worth me tightening up on my expenses to put away that extra 25 quid. Play with the calculator, and it will tell you and show you very visibly as to why it's worth it, or why it's worth to seek out that extra percent here and there. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, comments, feel free to comment under the video, or if you're seeing this on social media, please comment on the post or drop me an email or a message. Love to hear your feedback on this and to hear the ahas that you've had on this. So see you soon for the next episode on Financial Wellness Academy vlog. Here's your financial wellness.